Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing the second half of the finds that I had from my last recent finds video. This one's all like the psych and there's some folk stuff in here, but like more of the traditional stuff that I show, I guess, if you're into that. Before we get into it, if you're not subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing. It helped me out a lot, and yeah, let's just start. This is one I picked up from local honey hole, John Martin, One World. This is a first UK press on that Island Day and Night label. And this is like a mint copy, super clean. But yeah, I didn't even know it was a UK press until I got it all the way home. You know, I got it for just such a good deal. I figured I'd pick it up. This is an incredible folk album. If you are a fan of like Nick Drake, people like that, which I know there's not many people like Nick Drake, but I feel like this is as close as you can get. This album is kind of out there. It's a pretty experimental folk record. Lots of different sounds. There's even a little bit of like funk and sort of that soul influence on this record. Yeah, he's got a very unique voice, and he just uses it so well. My favorite track on here so far is probably Certain Surprise. Just a great little tune. Some of the albums I'm showing here I got from this guy that I bought 3,045s from. If you didn't see, I have an Instagram, and I put that on my story, and people were like, wow, that's a lot. And yeah, it's a lot. But sorted through all of them, and is a super nice guy. And he had all these 45s, and I asked him if he had records that he wanted to get rid of, and he had a bunch. And I'm actually going to go back and pick up some more. But sitting in his garage, Simon and Garfunkel, Sounds of Silence. This is a mono with the blue lettering. Not the cleanest, but I just needed an original copy. I had like a 68 repress or something, so that's pretty cool. A super clean copy of Joni Mitchell Blue. I've had this beater that I got for $3 at a flea market for like so long, and it plays okay, but this is so clean. Like, I'm absolutely super excited about this one. This is one of my favorite records just of all time, and just, you know, absolutely incredible folk record. I mean, the songwriting on here is just mind-blowing stuff, just incredible. This next one, a bit unusual for me. This is a modern artist. Yeah, but I found this artist on Instagram, and he was putting out these really, really great folk songs, you know, songs about going to Walmart and stuff like that. Yeah, Hell's Wells. This is Jesse Wells, if you don't know him. Modern folk artist. He has a lot of like political folk songs, very political folk songs. But he's just so down to earth, and I think he's just fantastic. His songwriting is great. He's a great guitar player. He's got a great voice for this kind of thing. Very unique again, but yeah, this went out of stock on his website like within like a couple hours of him putting it out on vinyl, and I was so upset. So I signed up for like the alerts to get when this was back in stock, and I bought this so fast. Like I needed to have this. And yeah, if you like 60s like folk, you know, like Vietnam War stuff, you will definitely really enjoy this record. I mean, this is a great folk record. It's absolutely just a really great listen. Love it. This is another one I got from the 45s guy. Gift from a Flower to a Garden by Donovan. This is the box set. Yeah, I passed up on one of these a long time ago for like super cheap, and I never knew why I did that. I was like upset with myself. But my buddy Matthew, he found a white label promo of Where Your Love Like Heaven, like a mono promo, and I went over to his house and he put it on his turntable, and man, I was just like instantly fell in love with the music. I mean, I love Donovan, but I wasn't expecting it to be like this. It's like a pop psych, like great pop psych. This is a little bit experimental of him. He kind of wanted to release an album of like children's folk songs or something. I heard, which is what the second disc for Little Ones is. Um, I'm not too huge of a fan of that, but this Where Your Love Like Heaven half is just great. Absolutely lovely stuff. This copy, the discs are like near mint. The box is kind of falling apart, but it's really clean, and it's got the booklet thing with all the inserts in there, like mint. Everything about this is perfect except for the box itself, but yeah, this is incredible. This has been on the turntable a lot. I really love the Where Your Love Like Heaven half of this album, and it's just great. Psych. Another one I got from this guy. This is an album I've had for a long time, but I just needed an upgrade and picked this one up. A Boogie with Canned Heat. This is incredible blues. Blues psych. They really went for the psych on a couple tracks on here, especially On the Road Again. Just wonderful, droney, psychedelic track. I mean, it's great. My other favorite track on here is World in a Jug. Just so good. I mean, this is just a fantastic blues record. For me, I love the blues, but it needs to be a certain type, and this is it. It's just they have a very unique take on it, and it's just lovely. I mean, I love Canned Heat, and this is a fantastic record. Another one, kind of blues related, Mom's Apple Pie. This is the uncensored original copy with that interesting cover there. This is on Brown Bag Records, which is an odd label, but this is a great, like, bluesy, funky record. I mean, it opens up with I Just Want to Make Love to You. Like, I've heard a million different versions of that, and this one was great. I mean, it just had this like great funk feel that I loved. And second track on here, Lay Your Money Down, I think was my favorite track. It's got this killer bass break on it, and it's just so good. Yeah, this came up super cheap at this record store that I went into. It was in the cheap bins, and the disc is like super clean. It's got a little bit of cover damage, but like I figured for the price I had to pick it up, and yeah, it's a good record. It's nothing like super duper mind blowing or anything, but very solid record. These next couple from this list I picked up from garage sales and flea markets around the area. Kinda Kinks. This is one of the last Kinks records that I needed. I have almost every single one that I want, and yeah, I think I just need one more, and then maybe I'll make a video on my Kinks collection, because I have a lot of Kinks records. But yeah, this is a very solid record. Not every track is a hit for me. For me, with the Kinks, the first Kinks record is just phenomenal. There's like 3 middle releases that are pretty decent, including this one. And then once they got to Kink Controversy, they were just on fire. He like figured out how to write songs or something, because it's just great. In that similar 60s pop kind of R&B vein. Then again, I found this at a flea market, and it was priced a little bit higher, but it's a super clean copy, so I kind of figured I was gonna pick it up. This is excellent British 60s R&B pop stuff. Really great. If you don't know them, that is Van Morrison, and this was his band before he went solo and did all the Brown Eyed Girl and stuff. But yeah, they just were a really good band, and I really enjoy this record. It came out on Parrot. I had a copy of their first one, and I purged it, and I don't know why, because I really enjoyed that record. I have no idea why I got rid of that album, but now I'm looking for one. Another great album, Genesis, Selling England by the Pound. This is probably in my top 10 progressive rock albums. It's just absolutely phenomenal. This is a first U.S. club press. It's got the cool sticker down there. Yeah, it had a garage sale, so I was super excited about that. This has the song Firth of Fifth on it, which is my absolute favorite Genesis song. It is just this absolutely incredible prog track that just takes you on a journey. Has one of the best piano intros of any song I've ever heard, and it's just absolutely incredible. Um, but yeah, this is just a masterpiece of a prog rock record. Definitely one of my favorites, and I'm super glad to have. I already had a copy, but this is like way nicer than mine, and it's a cool club press. So yeah, had to keep that. This next one, I know last video was kind of last Finds video was kind of the funk and soul half, but this is one I hadn't put on yet, so I decided I'd wait. Buddy Rich, The Roar of '74. This is a super interesting story behind this one. I went to a garage sale like a year ago with my family, and I asked this guy if he had records, and it took him like 15 minutes to come like pull out one of his boxes from the basement, and I sat there and waited, obviously because you have to. And he put out this box. He said he was like he was a classically trained musician. He had some jazz records, is what he said. So that's why I was like super interested. There wasn't really anything for me, but my dad picked out a stack, and these have just been sitting in my room. Like I don't think we ever played them or anything. Um, then I saw this clip of Buddy Rich on Instagram. Like he was playing a drum solo when he had a heart attack or something. Um, which he didn't actually have a heart attack. He had like heat stroke or something. But anyways, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I probably sound like a crazy person. But that made me wonder, like, oh, what's the best Buddy Rich album? And this one came up, so I put it in my want list. And like probably like 2 weeks ago, I was sorting through records in my room, and I found this in my room. I was like, what? I have this? And I kind of remembered where we got it from. But yeah, this came out on Groove Merchant. This is Buddy Rich trying to adapt to the sort of funk stuff from the 70s. Not all the tracks are funk. You know, Buddy Rich was a big band leader, so there's most of the tracks are like that. But there are a couple down and dirty funk songs. I think Kilimanjaro is one, and Big Mac, I believe. Just fantastic. And the reason why I wanted to show this now is because the guitar player on this album, on the Buddy Rich album, Roar 74, is Joe Beck. And this is Joe Beck's album, Nature Boy. Yeah, I picked this up at a record store for a sweet deal, because again, a little bit of cover damage at the bottom, but this disc is like mint, like unplayed. And yeah, I was kind of expecting like a folk psych thing, because I had no idea who Joe Beck really was, but I'd heard that people really liked this album. And I put this on, and it's a hard rock and heavy psych record. It's great. It's definitely a little bit all over the place. If you read the Wikipedia page for this one, it talks about how Joe Beck got this contract, and his manager somehow got the label to send him like $100,000, a ridiculous price, to get this recorded, and they spent it all on booze and partying or something. And with that money, they recorded one track, and it was the second track, "Spoon Caress," I believe, which is kind of this zony, folky, more type song. And that left them with no money and no time. They just had to record the rest of the album, and yeah, it is really amazing. I mean, this is a great Psych record. I really enjoy this. I got to spend a little more time with it. I didn't. I really loved the opening track, Nature Boy, on first listen, but it takes a little getting used to. I feel like if you're into that heavy Psych type stuff, this is definitely one to check out. Great stuff. This next one I pulled out at my local honey hole, and I kind of couldn't believe it when I pulled the disc out. I noticed that this one had the like a laminated sort of cover, and I was like, oh, it's probably a foreign press. And I pulled the disc out, and it's a first UK. This is Who's Next by The Who. This was one of the first records I ever bought when I started collecting. I think I got it on my first ever visit to a record store. I've had this like 80s MCA press for years, and I just never upgraded to an original. But yeah, I've always wanted that original UK, and just showed up at the store. This is like a mint copy. It's so clean, like absolutely wonderful. Yeah, this is my second favorite Who record behind Tommy. I'm just a Tommy fanatic. But it's got the original inner sleeve and everything. It's not the day one copy that has the certain copyright date or certain print date on the whatever. But it is a very early UK press, and it's seriously mint. It's like a perfect copy. I could not be more happy with this. I mean, I'm so stoked, and it just sounds great. It's a lovely pressing, which is interesting because I've had records on track before that sound kind of horrible, but yeah, this one sounds very nice, and it's just super clean, and I couldn't be more happy with that. This next one, and couple of these last ones are eBay purchases, which I know I've been trying to avoid the eBay, but I kind of changed my whole perspective and system for looking at stuff on eBay. Yeah, I saw this record and I was on the fence about buying it, but I was like, this is so rare, and I'm never gonna regret buying this, but I'll probably regret not buying it. This is the Zombies Odyssey and Oracle. This is a first Japanese press, which is so cool. They did a very limited run of this in '69, so it's technically, it's not, it didn't come out the same year as the UK release or the US release, and they called it Time of the Season above the Odyssey and Oracle, but it's got the original cover artwork, which I just pulled this out and I was looking at it, and this is such a high quality print of the cover. I had this, I had the 2015 reissue or something, which is like very much a budget reissue. And I was just staring at this cover, like, it looks great. And yeah, this is a super, super clean first Japanese. Had to have it. Sounds great. Really, really nice pressing. Way better than my reissue. This copy came with the lyric insert, which features, I was translating this, it's just like a story of the zombies and stuff. And it's got all the lyrics translated to English. Yeah, there's some really funny mistakes throughout this lyric insert. Like, these songs, it looks like someone whose first language is not English transcribed this by ear, which is pretty cool. I looked through it while I was listening to it, and I was like, those are the words? And then I was like, oh, there's not the words at all when I got to some later ones. Is an easy one to pull out. Beechwood Pack is how it's spelled up there. But yeah, this is just, I love Japanese press stuff. I think it's so super duper cool, and I mean, just to get a copy that's on the CBS label, this is a significant upgrade to my kind of crappy 2015 press, and yeah, I just really needed to grab it. No regrets here at all. This next one was a complete blind buy, which I don't get to really I never really got to do that often, but I've been hitting the garage sales and stuff, and I've been finding them cheap enough to where I can just buy them, not even bother, it's $3 or whatever, so like whatever. Um, but I saw this was like a foreign press, so I picked it up. This was from the 45s guy. Giro di Valzer per Domini. That was probably the worst pronunciation I could have possibly done of that. Um, the band is called Arts and Crafts, if you translate it to English. And I think this is something about a waltz. I don't remember what the title is, so forgive me for that. But this is great Italian prog fusion. Very, very intense record. Um, this came out on Cramps, which is a pretty sick label if you're into that Italian progressive stuff. But yeah, I mean, this just had a look that I was like, I'm not gonna even question it. I'm just picking this up, and it is very sick. This is the first Italian press. Yeah, very, very great, intense prog fusion, if that's your thing. Sometimes it can drive me crazy a little bit, but this is a really good one. The drummer on here is named Furio Chirico. I'm butchering the pronunciations. I'm so sorry. Um, he is absolutely amazing. He is phenomenal on this record, and there's great guitar playing and all that. If you're into that fusion type stuff, check this one out. It's very good. Yeah, first Italian press here in the States. Pretty cool. These next two finds are pretty crazy. I have this playlist that I listen to when I mow the lawn. It's like obscure acid rock and psych, I think is what the playlist is called, that I made, where I just like throw music in there from stuff that's in my want list so I can have a chance to listen to it. And I heard a song by this band and I was like, wow, that was really great. I'm gonna add this to my eBay saved searches. So I looked up this band Vinyl, and this was like the top one, and it was also like 1 a.m. and it was like so cheap, and I just ordered it instantly. It said it was already in someone's cart, so I was like, I have no time to waste here. I'm gonna order it. This is Jonesy No Alternative. This is a first UK press on Dawn, which is so sick. I don't have anything on the Dawn label, so I'm very, very happy to have this. This is a killer progressive hard rock record. It's so good. Oh my god. These songs are just great, progressive, down and dirty, heavy, great riffage, all the stuff that you want. This is a very nice copy. Apart from it has these two like insanely deep marks on it, which it's kind of a miracle that these weren't causing skipping. But there's like a rotating pop associated with them. But side 2 is great, in great shape. Very much on the lookout for the other Jonesy stuff, because I think I prefer the there's an album called Growing, I believe, which I gave some streaming time, and I thought it was absolutely killer. I mean, the same thing, but just maybe a little bit even better. But this is a phenomenal record, and I'm just shocked to see it on eBay in the States. By the way, for the price this was at, it was a great score. Yeah, Jonesy No Alternative, highly recommend if you're into that progressive rock stuff. This next one is a Grail. This is a very tough record to find, and yeah, it was this eBay auction. It was ending at an odd time. If you see that an eBay auction is ending at like 10 in the morning or like 11 in the morning, there's a pretty high likelihood that there's not going to be that many people bidding on it. So that's exactly what happened here. This auction was ending at 10 in the morning. So I was like, okay, I'm going to bid on this because I'm pretty sure I'm going to win. The Sacred Mushroom. Yeah. This is a super rare record. Released on this small Parallax label based in New York, but I think the band's based in Cincinnati. which is where this shipped from. Um, this is absolutely killer, hard-hitting psychedelic blues rock. Um, it is very much a lot more blues rock than what the cover suggests. Uh, this makes it look like some crazy psych album, and it's really not, which I think is a little bit of a letdown to some people. I was reading reviews on Discogs, which is like the worst place to look for reviews, but my favorite track on this is the last track, Lifeline. Um, Absolutely killer. They do a great version of I'm Not Like Everybody Else by the Kinks. Um, I'll say there are definitely a couple duds. I don't really like the song All Good Things Must Have an End, I believe. And Mean Old World, not my favorite, kind of very standard blues tracks. But the rest are great. I couldn't believe that I own this. This is one that I remember I was about to buy a reissue of a long time ago because I just didn't think that I would get a copy of it ever. But it's so cool to have one. And it's not the nicest disc in the world, but it plays through great. And I'm just, yeah, just thrilled to have this. I think this is one of my favorite cover art of all time. This is just so psychedelic. Like, this is something you want to put on your wall. It's so sick. If you like psychedelic blues rock, this is like just a top-notch example of it. Apart from a few duds, it's just a great album through and through to me. I really, really enjoy this one. And this is one of those cases where I'm okay with getting a copy on eBay because I got a very good deal on it, and I don't think I'll ever run into a copy of this in the wild. So, yeah, The Sacred Mushroom on Parallax. Great stuff. Yeah, but that's going to be it for the Psych half of this recent finds. Again, I've been buying more and more records, so hopefully that means more and more videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.